Well, happening this morning, crews are out battling two major wildfires here in New Mexico that have grown.
Yeah, the firefighters did get a break with some rain yesterday, and they could again today. Meteorologist Kristen Van Dyke will be back with your fire forecast in just a moment. But first, let's get to some statistics here. Start with the Thompson Ridge fire burning in the Jemez Mountains. Right now, it is just 5% contained. It has burned through more than 10,000 acres. Yesterday, firefighters got help from a DC-10 dropping thousands of gallons of fire retardant up there. Plus, choppers are dropping water, too. They're getting it from Fenton Lake. That is still closed. So is Valles Caldera. Then there is the Tres Lagunas fire. It's burning near Pecos. It's charred almost 9,500 acres and is 24% contained. Yesterday, firefighters got some help with a little bit of rain up there. They also opened up Highway 63 all the way up to Windy Bridge, and they're allowing some people who live in the area to go back home. Elizabeth?
And fire crews are also out battling a new wildfire that is burning in western New Mexico. The Sawmill Canyon fire has charred about 30 acres south of Quemado, which is near the Agua Fria mountain. It's about a mile away from any structures. No word yet on how this one started. And an engine strike team from Wyoming is in New Mexico this morning helping out some of our firefighters. The team arrived yesterday afternoon at the request of Governor Susana Martinez. A strike team is usually made up of 5 engines with a leader in a command vehicle. They respond and work together to attack any new fire that sparks up.
If needed, they may be going to the bigger fires, but right now they've got enough personnel on those 2 fires. These individuals will be available to quickly strike and go head to a fire that starts by a dropped cable or lightning, and hopefully contain it very quickly without pulling other resources.
And we have learned 2 more engine strike teams are on the way, guys.
All right, meteorologist Kristen Van Dyke here. You know, some of the areas got some rain up there yesterday. Are they going to get any more today? And then how about the humidity? We know it's high here in Albuquerque. What's it like up in the mountains?
Oh, we're seeing a lot more moisture up in the northern mountains, especially for the Sangre de Cristo Mountains and over near Pecos. And that's where we're going to see really decent conditions for fighting fires for today. And taking a look at the Tres Lagunas fire forecast here, temperatures not bad at all into the low 70s. And as far as the shower activity goes, we're going to see a decent chance for some showers from noon to 5, and relative humidity really decent, and the winds not too bad either. So some pretty good news here for battling these fires. Thompson Ridge fire yesterday didn't get as much moisture. There's a little bit to work with here. We may be able to squeeze out a shower this afternoon, but the winds not looking too bad for us. At worst, out of the south at about 10 to 15. Temperature still fairly warm though, in the mid 80s. So some moisture to work with, but that unfortunately is moving out in a big way this weekend. The details coming up.
Be sure to stay with KRQE News 13 for the very latest on the wildfires threatening our state, both on air and online at krqe.com.
Well, you remember the woman who was attacked and thrown into the Rio Grande on Tuesday? Well, it turns out she is the mother of this guy. The guy police say did it. They say Martin Montano stabbed and beat his mom and her male roommate at their home because voices from his TV told him the 2 were clones. Police say Montano put them in the trunk of a car, drove to the bridge on Central, then threw his mom over the edge. That was rescuers getting her there. Investigators caught up with this guy a few minutes later. He's still in jail, facing attempted murder charges and more. Elizabeth.
We have more details this morning on a shooting involving an FBI agent. The FBI says the agent who shot at a man in Albuquerque Tuesday night did it to protect another agent. The feds and the APD were working on a drug operation on the west side. They say they tried to pull over James Ronquillo, but they say he drove toward a car where an agent was trapped by a jammed seatbelt. Well, that is when the other agent fired at Ronquillo's car. No one was hit, but a bullet did hit a house nearby. Ronquillo was arrested after he crashed into another FBI unit. The former Albuquerque cop accused of killing his wife could have a jury picked out for his trial by the end of this week. Levi Chavez is facing first-degree murder charges. He's accused of killing his wife Tara with his police gun at their home in Los Lunas back in 2007, then staging it to look like a suicide. Both prosecutors and the defense attorneys are still trying to get a jury together. Right now, they still have more than 100 people to go through. Well, another glitch in the state corrections department this morning.
And it could be the key to unsolved murders, rapes, and other crimes. The law says everyone convicted of a felony has to give a DNA sample here in New Mexico, but a new audit shows that did not happen to 138 inmates. Now the state is scrambling to go collect their DNA. Corrections Secretary Greg Marcantel here is concerned that some inmates who slipped through the cracks could be connected to other crimes, so he now wants investigators all around the state to run their DNA evidence through the system once again.
If you have a case that you're concerned and you think it's worth it, then resubmit it in.
Investigators discovered the DNA error when Santa Fe police were looking at a cold case and realized 5 inmates didn't have a DNA sample on file.
Well, listen to this. A 400-pound bear attacks an 82-year-old woman in her bed right here in New Mexico. Game and fish officers say it happened Tuesday night. They believe it was a black bear. They say the bear ripped off a screen door to get inside the woman's home in Cimarron and then swiped at the woman's face.
There was pretty good damage on the screen as well as on the door where he'd pried on it, and then he finally pulled it loose, actually pulled the eye bolt out of the door to get into the house.
Wow. Well, wildlife officer Kyle Jackson says the victim had minor cuts on her face and is doing fine. Game and Fish contacted a local houndsman who used dogs to track down the bear. They found it about a mile away from the home and killed it. Now, the bear's remains are now being tested for rabies and the victim's DNA to confirm whether this one was in fact the bear that attacked the woman. Glad this woman was okay. Such a scary situation. We hear a lot about these types of stories out in California, but we have bears too. Let's not forget.
We do. There was one running wild in Rio Rancho yesterday, and you're probably going to see more of this as we get drier and drier. They're coming down lower and lower from the mountains to find food and water, particularly, unfortunately, in your neighborhood and in your home.